Today we're going to apply a new node or another node in Unreal Engine 4, which is the World Align texture. So we're going to apply this node in our previous materials that we created, the Minecraft Obsidian, the Minecraft Crying Obsidian, and the Nether Portal. So when we're applying texture on a material, the default coordinate used in a material is what we call the UV coordinate. This time, um, we're going to apply the world space coordinate using world aligned texture in our material. So what really is the purpose of world aligned texture? So world aligned texture is a node used to create objects like terrains or static actors that we used in a level. Like in Minecraft, when we create nether portal, we see that the obsidian blocks is a static um, object that we stack up to create a portal. It can be resized in different manners or in any manner without resizing its texture. So that's the purpose of world align texture. So this time we're going to apply this on our material. But remember, world aligned texture can only be applied or can only be useful in static actors or static objects. It is not advisable to apply this node on a moving or animated objects like NPC or any um, moving actors or moving obstacles on a level because its texture will be fixed on a world space. So you'll see what I'm talking about when we apply this on the nether portal. So but first we're going to apply this node in the obsidian. So let's start applying this in this one. So let's open its material. So this is the materials that we created previously on the video that we created, the UE4 basic materials part 4. So just open this material. And this is our nodes that we created on the obsidian material. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove some of these nodes like text coordinate because we're not going to use this text or coordinate when we apply the world align texture. So text coordinate is useful when you are creating an object or a material using a UV coordinate, but not this time because we're going to use the world space coordinate. So let's remove this and then let's disconnect our texture sample on the basic color and the normal connector. What we're going to do is we're going to convert this texture sample into texture object. Just right click on this node and look for the convert to texture object like this one. And then we're going to connect each node to the world aligned texture. So this is the node of world aligned texture. What we're going to do is we're going to connect the XYZ texture on the base and on the normal. And then to align the size of the texture on our level, we're going to create another node. We're going to call the scalar parameter. We're going to name this size. And let's connect this size on the texture size. Using this scalar parameter, we're going to fix the size of the texture of the object. So once we resize the object, no matter how big or small this object, its texture will remain um, in the same size that we're going to apply in this scalar parameter. So let's say, let's apply 64. Then let's save our material with the world aligned texture. Then let's head back to the level. So this is the Minecraft Obsidian with the applied world aligned texture node. So before we proceed to another object or material, I will give you an example or a difference between an object using world aligned texture or an object using world space coordinate and an object using a UV coordinate. So this one, our obsidian, we applied the world space coordinate. And as you can see, when we move the object, its texture remains intact. Its texture will stay or will be fixed on its world coordinate. As you can see, no matter how, no matter what we move or how we move the object, its texture remains on its world space. Unlike the object using a UV coordinate, so once we move the object, the texture will move together with its object. So that's the UV coordinate. And this one is the world space coordinate. So that's the difference between the local material with UV coordinate and the material using world space coordinate, using world aligned texture. Then now, when we resize the material, as you can see, its texture remains the same and it will never be resized together with its object. Unlike the uh, unlike the material with the local UV coordinate, once we resize the object, the texture will be resized just like what you see on the uh, crying obsidian. The texture is resized together with its object. So that's the difference of the UV coordinate and the world world space coordinate. So now that we applied the world aligned texture on our obsidian, let's apply the world aligned texture on the crying obsidian. So let's open this crying obsidian. So this is the nodes that we created on the UE4 basic materials part 4. So the previous video. So now we're going to apply the world aligned texture here. So this time, let's remove the text coordinate and let's move move down this part of the nodes so that the world aligned texture node will have its space on top together with its texture object. Okay, then this texture sample, we're going to convert this into texture object, and we're going to disconnect this on the nodes like the multiply, normal connector, and the base color. Then let's connect this texture object in world align texture. Okay, so this time, um, let's copy the scalar parameter, this size node that we create on the Obsidian. Then let's paste this on the crying Obsidian. Okay, so let's connect this size node or the scalar parameter to the texture size of world align texture, same as what we did on the Obsidian material. Then in the XYZ texture connector of world align texture, we're going to connect this in base color, in normal, and in multiply node here to apply the uh, transition of the color of the crying Obsidian. And as you can see, this is our crying Obsidian now, which is using the world space coordinate instead of UV coordinate. So let's save our material, and let's check on the level. So let's try resizing this material or this object to see if the texture is aligned to world space coordinate. And as you can see, the crying Obsidian that we created is now using world space coordinate instead of UV coordinate. So now that we have two materials using world space coordinate, the next one is the nether portal. So the nether portal is a little bit tricky because it's different from the crying Obsidian and the Obsidian that we created. As you can see, it is translucent. So let's open the nether portal material. And this is our nodes that we created on the nether portal. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the panner on our texture sample. As you can see, the texture sample is using the UV connector, which is not part of the texture object. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert our texture sample into texture object, just as we did on our previous two materials. Then we're going to connect the object into world align texture. Then we're going to connect the texture size in scalar parameter. Then we're going to name this as a size, same as the scalar parameter that we applied on the two materials. Then let's apply 64. Now that we have the world aligned texture, we're going to connect this on, we're going to connect the XYZ texture on the emissive color. Then, as you can see, our panner has no way to have any connection on our texture object. So what we're going to do, we're going to call another node. We're going to call the UV layout to world space position. So this node, we're going to connect this on the world position of the world aligned texture so that we can have the animation of our nether portal on this material that we applied together with the world aligned texture. Just move this group a little bit, and we're going to connect this UV layout to world space position to world position. And as you can see, the animation is restored. But we're going to remove the texture coordinate here on the panner. So let's remove this, and let's remove this multiply. So we don't need it. So we're going to connect our scalar parameter directly on the coordinate of the panner. And let's reduce the speed of the panner by 1. Let's reduce the value of the scalar parameter connected to the coordinate from 10 to 1. Then let's adjust this one close like this. Then as you can see, this is our nether portal. But let's save this first so that we can see the output of the nether portal. As you can see, our animation is a little bit scrambled when we move the viewport. So that's what I'm talking about earlier, which is when you're applying animated texture, or when you're applying a texture on an animated object using world aligned texture, well, it is not advisable. It is only used or useful on static objects like this one, especially like in this nether portal. To see the real output of the nether portal, let's move our screen on the this one. And as you can see, um, this is the output of our nether portal. And you see how the texture moves when we move the view of our character. So it is fixed on the world space coordinate, or the coordinate of this level. So when you're creating a galaxy or have a void, so this world aligned texture is very useful. especially when you're creating a background with the stars on a level. So when you're going to create a Ender portal, so it is also useful because in Ender portal we have a portal which is the texture is fixed on its world space coordinate, same as in same as what you see on the texture of our Nether portal here. So when we resize this um, object, so let's move this. You see how flexible the object when we applied the world aligned texture to it. So you don't need to have or to adjust the object's coordinates simultaneously or manually when you're creating an object with different sizes but with the same material. So using world aligned texture, this is how we apply the world space coordinate instead of UV coordinate.